everyone, welcome. And today I thought what we'd do is we just review a little bit about the basics of a mobile home park. So here you can see this is an example of a mobile home park. So when you talk about mobile home park investing, this is what we are trying to buy. We are trying to buy this big piece of land here with all the streets in it and all these individual lots with the homes. We're trying to buy the entire thing. Now, some people are interested in mobile home investing. When talking about mobile home investing, they're talking about buying just one of these individual units. And these individual units may be in a community like this, or these individual units might be on its own piece of land. And so it's sort of like another type of single family home investing when you do mobile home investing. All right, so that's a difference here. But mobile home park investing, what we're really interested in doing is we're interested in buying the entire park. So this is an example of a nice mobile home park. Some of the things that you can tell make it a nice mobile home park. You have nice paved roads here, and you have nice symmetrical layout. You can see the grass and the green area is well cared for. Each of the individual units, mobile homes, actually have garages, and there's off-street parking. But this, in general, if this were in a nice area at a good price, this would be an example of a mobile home park that you would definitely be interested in buying. Looks like a very nice, clean mobile home park. This is another example of a very nice mobile home park. This is more of a rundown mobile home park. You can tell it has older inventory, aluminum siding as opposed to the vinyl siding. You have these round tops here, which indicate older mobile homes. They're probably not as wide here because they're made a long time ago. This could be a fine mobile home park to purchase. But again, you can just tell by looking at it, this is something that's going to require a little bit more attention. So if you were to come into this mobile home park, you'd have to think about what type of rules and regulations you'd want to implement. You see here the graffiti on the side. Looks like this is a boarded up windows. This is like an abandoned or empty home. So you can see that there's quite a difference between this mobile home park and this mobile home park. And this is one of the important things to realize is that there's lots of different types of mobile home parks. So if you see a mobile home park for sale and you see, wow, this cap rate is looking really good, it's a really high cap rate, you just need to make sure you know what you're buying. This one's going to be offered at a much lower cap rate. This one's going to be offered at a much higher cap rate. Here's another example of sort of a rundown mobile home park. You see some abandoned homes over here that probably have to get hauled away. As you can see, there's lots of different types of mobile home parks. And the question is, well, how are these individual homes, like what makes these mobile homes? And the answer to that is they're mobile homes because they're manufactured in a factory. Mobile home parks are actually known as manufactured housing communities. Ever since 1976, HUD, Housing and Urban Development, they implemented a code, a standard to which all mobile homes or manufactured housing needs to be made to. So there's like a standard. Before that, there was a lot more variety in the types of mobile homes that were being made, but they wanted to standardize it, and this made it easier for lenders to lend on homes because they knew they were all being made to a certain standard. Helps ensure that people are getting a quality product. But this is a factory. This is where mobile homes are being built because it's a controlled environment, and because they're mass producing these homes like this, and because it's all done, most of it is done on site here, they're able to build the mobile homes at a much lower price point than it would for a site-built home. So let me just give you an example. So this is the opposite. This is a site-built home, right? So this is single-family home or site-built home. These homes are built on site. They're built outdoors. So, you have to be worried about the weather, all sorts of different things that can drive up the cost of building homes, which is why manufactured homes offer a advantage for people because they can be built for much cheaper. So after these homes are built, they are transported. You've probably seen one of these maybe when you're driving along the highway. So you have this big truck here that's hauling the mobile homes to the site, and then you have to get like a special permit, and it's a whole process to actually move these mobile homes from the factory to the community, and then once you bring it to the community, then you have to install the mobile home, So this is an example of a home that's set in the lot that it's going to be set in. You can see underneath there's some foundations here. Take a look here. There's foundations, also known as piers. Oh, actually, these are the piers. Yeah, the foundation would be underneath that. Then you have here these metal tie downs, and these are things to. So the piers, obviously, that keeps the home from sitting on the dirt and the ground. So that prevents moisture from touching the house and ruining it. Then you have the tie downs. This is to help increase stability of the home. And you have the sewer pipes, the water pipes, the electrical connections. All of this stuff is being fed into the home from underneath or on the side of the home. Then later on, you're going to put skirting all around it to hide all this ugly mess. As you can see, this home is being set directly on the dirt. In some areas, they would require you to lay down some sort of concrete pad or maybe some sort of what are called runners. So like just 2 strips of cement in which you'd have to put the homes on top of that. That's one of the things to really watch out for when you're looking to invest in mobile home parks, is understanding what type of lot prep is needed to actually bring a home into a community, because you can't just bring it from the factory and just place it on a piece of land. You have to make sure that you're doing it the right way. And before you can have someone buy your home or rent your home in your community, it has to pass code inspection, and then you'll get a certificate of occupancy, and then you'll be able to rent it or sell it off. So then after the home is set, you might add in some fancy skirting. You might put a deck or porch on here, all sorts of other amenities, do some landscaping to make it look nicer. And this is kind of what the finished product looks like. One thing you'll notice though is that there are no wheels, right? So you had the wheels when you were transporting it, but once the home is set, looks like this. It's got the skirting around it. This is why mobile homes the name mobile home can be kind of a misnomer. And this is why there's actually been a push to refer to these as manufactured houses, because that kind of captures more of the essence of what these are. These homes, as you can see, they're very hard to move. I mean, in order to transport one of these homes, you need one of these big trucks. You have to be careful that, that you don't break it while you're moving it, that it doesn't split in half. All sorts of horror stories can happen when you're actually transporting the homes. And there's no wheels on them. So later on, if your resident or a resident wants to move the home, it's pretty hard for them to do that. Here, this is an example of a home that's been set on an individual piece of land. So again, people can buy land and place a mobile home on their own land. And then they can permanently attach this mobile home to the foundation. And in that case, this is treated as real property. So this would be treated just like a single family home. You would get similar financing from a bank for it. So that's one option for you if you're buying a mobile home. You can just put it on a piece of land. And then, of course, the other option is to put it in a community like this. So you may be asking yourself, why do people want to live in communities? Why don't they just buy their own land and put a home on their own land? And that's a good question. Some people simply just don't want to deal with having the land. Other people can't afford to buy the land and the home. Other people want the amenities that living in a mobile home park can provide. This is one of the first things that I kind of pondered when I first started getting into mobile home park investing, is like, why are they putting their homes in a community? Why aren't they just putting them on a piece of land? Keep in mind too that if you put a mobile home on a piece of land, you're going to have to build out the infrastructure. You're going to have to build out the sewage connection. You're going to have to build out the water. You're going to do all that stuff for your property. And that's a lot of work. And maybe that's something that people just don't want to deal with. So a lot of times when you talk to people about mobile home park investing, because of the word mobile home, this is what they're going to think of. They're going to think of an RV. And these are different. These are RVs, and they can be driven off-site. And typically, the people that own these are not living somewhere year-round. They're just visiting either for a few days or they're visiting for a season. So when you see a mobile home park listed for sale, and it says RV park or it says mobile home and RV park, this component, the RV component, is different. It's different than this component. This component is treated differently by banks and by appraisers because these homes, for all intents and purposes, are not going to be easy to move out of the park. So from a bank's perspective, they feel a lot safer with these because the income is more predictable in the future. These homes are probably not going to be moved out, and so these things will stay there and they'll continue to make income. Whereas with an RV, these things can be just moved off-site at any moment, at any time, and therefore pricing on these is going to be different. This is another example. This is a camper car. So this is a very nice RV unit. This is a camper car, and this is a fifth wheel. So these are all different types of RV units that can be moved. And this is, just keep in mind that this is different than what we're looking for. Ideally, what we want is we want mobile homes like this that are skirted, that are placed on a lot, and that are likely not going to be picked up and moved later on. This is what we're looking for. All right, guys, just to recap what you're doing when you're mobile home park investing, when you're investing in mobile home parks, is you're buying communities like this that are filled with homes that were produced in a factory. The mobile home park communities themselves can be of different qualities, as you can see. There's all different types of mobile home parks out there. But this is essentially what you're trying to invest in. All right, stay tuned for the next episode.